Hello. Welcome, everybody who is watching this live or archived. Hello, Kango Fango. Hello, Slovak Eagle. Hello, Mr. W. And other people as well. 5 people. The stream's only started. 5 people already. Hello. Hello. Right, so hi. Hi. Good morning. Sorry, wrong clock. No? No, that's not right either. Good night then. Yes, good night and sweet dreams to you too. Cheerio, tips, top hat, shakes cane. Hello, 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 hello. Good. So, yes, Milton Valley Railroad building. Okay. Actually, that's a good point. Does anybody want to go into voice chat? Oh, the stream's frozen on this side. That does not bode well. Can you still hear/see me? Does it still work? Or is it gone? Yay, these are always really nice. Oh no, it's still there. Now it's reloaded. Great. Shadows, yes, everything works here. Okay, yeah, it just froze over there. But that may be due to something else. Anyway. Yeah, sure, great. Or is it nice? You're right. We can still see and hear you. Thank you. Ah, yes, the never-ending buffering, lol. Yeah. XD, yes, we can hear and see you. Great. Yay. So, let me open up Discord. No, that is wrong. That is not Discord. That is Discord. Logging in. There we go. Right, I'm in the Discord voice chat. If someone wants to join me, of course, you have to be 13 plus, of course, but you have to be that anyway to use Discord and Twitch. So, yes. Hello, Mr. W. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. You?
Yes, good as well. I finally... what is that sound? It sounds like a parrot... One second. There we go. There we go. What is that sound? It sounded like a parrot squeaking.
That was me. That was me whistling.
The microphone yeah, the thing is, the microphone distorts it. The microphone distorts it so badly that does not sound like a whistle. Yeah, that is... Yeah. Right, so, let me read chat. Yes, right, that if there is an abundance of chat messages for 4+ minutes, chances are chat doesn't work anymore for me. If there is an abundance...
You mean lack of?
Yeah, that's probably what he meant. If there isn't an abundance. Because an abundance means a lot.
Isn't an abundance, right. IRVGR-RO.
Yes, hello there.
You here?
Oh, that is the wrong map. Right, XD, and I'm just watching the stream through a closed door. If you see my name disappear from the list of viewers again, know that I had enough of buffering and just wanted to do something else. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. There is no obligation for you to stay. And then everybody leaves.
Yeah.
This is the correct route. Yes. Shadows, hello, Mr. W. How are you doing today? Mr. W, squeak, squeak. I mean, you can watch the stream back as the archive. You'll be able to hear.
Yeah. I forgot to turn the actual stream volume off, so I did hear just a little bit.
And did it sound nice?
It sounded odd.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Right. Hello there, VGR_RO, as Mr. W said. Welcome. Hi, yes. Yeah, it sounded like screeching metal from here. I'm sure it sounded great on your end, though. Yes. Yeah, isn't... Hello, yes. I'll never leave. Okay. No threats here, no threats. Unless it's ended. Oh, well, then it's okay. Right. So... let me put on the correct filter and switch to the right layer. Right, so last time I worked on basically these three fields and...
The screen's not on. The screen's still at the ready screen. On the stream, at
Wait
least,
a minute.
unless it.
That is
unless it's-
strange. I
unless
did
it's not
click
caught up.
it. Well, that is odd. Here it's... Okay, let me switch back and forth. Let's see, has it worked now?
Nope. Oh. It's sort of it's doing the zoom out thing. Oh, there we go.
Ah, that is really strange. That is exactly what had happened. Do you remember that time when I was building the hotel by the lake? And you said that you couldn't see the screen, but you couldn't type in chat? That was before you had a...
I think that was the one before I had a Twitch account.
That is exactly...
Yeah, I know which one you mean.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened
and
there.
no one in chat said anything. Like, Kango wasn't there.
Yeah.
But no one in chat said anything. And I think there were people watching.
That was the exact same
I think
thing.
they had put stuff in chat beforehand. Just hadn't said anything.
Maybe. That was the exact same thing that happened just now, which is that OBS, I did click on the correct scene. It updated, it highlighted the scene blue, but then it just didn't switch. Maybe that's due to lag. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But thank you for noticing.
Yeah, no problem.
Right, so I worked on these three fields. I put these fields in, and I'm not sure if I did the bridges. I think I did do the bridges last stream. These ones. Yeah, so I'll continue working on that. Continue working on the fields, and...
Hey, Chris.
Yeah. Yes, hello, Chris. So, let's get rid of these little spline bits here.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, here is something I want to mention. And that is that before the lockdowns started, you know, when the world, well, at least when England was still a free country where you could go out and go wherever you liked. Yeah, those times, that's what I mean. I know it seems like ages ago. I was part of a tabletop role-playing group, which has not resumed until now, but it will resume very shortly online using Roll20, the virtual tabletop Roll20. If anybody who's watching this thinks that might sound interesting and you might want to give it a try, then please get in touch. The legal age, of course, is 13 plus. So yes, that is the public service announcement over. This is the wrong.
Is that the same legal age? Is that the same legal age as the actual group?
Yes, it is. Right. I mean, I know that I technically shouldn't have to say anything, because to be able to use Twitch and Discord, you have to be of that age, and my videos are not meant for children, which is what they're listed as on YouTube. But I do know that, yeah, because otherwise it would mean that, for example, I think that you can't leave any comments on videos that are indicated as meant for kids, which I do not want.
Sure, because I've had a look. Because I've had a look at some of them, and you can, at least on YouTube, it's you can leave comments. I've not left any, but you can leave them.
You mean on? Are you sure that that was on videos that are marked as for kids?
Oh, Oh right, okay. I thought
Oh yeah,
okay.
I see where
I thought you meant they were all.
No, just on videos that are marked. I mean, you can disable it if you want yourself, but I think I've heard somewhere that videos that are marked as for kids, that is the case. And my videos are not aimed at kids. This is not kids stuff. So,
Yes.
and
you can't and you can't. I don't think you can download or have them playing in separate screen either. Which.
What do you mean?
Yeah, Slovak says that I've got a lot of background noise.
Oh,
nothing else is making a sound.
I think I can hear myself being picked up on your microphone.
Oh my wow!
Now that I'm listening to it, it's quite distorted. Let's just do a test. So I'm going to say test.
Test.
No, I couldn't hear it then. I couldn't hear it just then. Oh, now I heard something.
Oh. Like an echo.
Yeah, that is strange. Do you have speakers on that could be picked up by your microphone?
Is a what on?
Do you have speakers on?
Not really. I mean, I've got in the game that I'm playing, I've got the volume off. I mean, the radiator is on, and that's producing a little bit of noise, but I doubt that.
I mean, are you listening to either Discord or the stream via speakers?
Well, I'm using my laptop without headphones. So.
Yes. So you are using speakers.
I've done that before. Yeah, but I've done that before, and no one's at least said anything about it before.
Maybe just no one noticed, or maybe you've got your volume turned up more. I don't know. It is being picked up.
Yeah, I do have the volume turned up.
Yeah, it is being picked up by.
I've turned it down a little bit.
Or you could just use headphones.
Yeah, that's true. I could just use plug-in headphones. I'll just quickly grab a pair of those.
Okay. Right. So let me read chat. Threats. You haven't seen any threat yet. Shard Ice. We can't see. Yeah, what? Miss W said. There we go. I remember those days when I wasn't in chat yet. Yes. Hello, Chris, as I said before. Now I am, though, and you'll never get rid of me. There we go with the threats again. Hey, does anybody have information about the Southern Pacific prairies? No, I only know about the British Rail prairies, and large prairies. WL has a lot of background noise, yeah. What coincidence! I was in one of those too before the lockdown started. XD lockup. Well, it is kind of true because people are being locked up in their own homes. So it is true that it is a lockup.
But it's more of a of a very it's more that it's very recommended that you stay locked up, quote unquote.
Well, if it were only recommended, it is much better, I think. Yes. I can't hear any.
I have put headphones in.
Yeah. If it was only recommended, then people's freedoms wouldn't be taken away, which they are.
And what wouldn't you cut? When you cut out for a second, then
what, no, I stopped. People's freedoms. Actually, that might be because of my. Hold on. It might be. To
be fair, these have been cutting out a little bit. I mean, I've not.
Yeah,
used
1 second. Let me see. Yeah, this is reset. 1 second. This should be much better. I should be cutting out a lot less now.
Okay.
Right. Is this better? Am I cutting out less now? Yes?
No? You're not cutting out.
That is good.
Fine now.
Right. Yes. So, right. For some reason, the cutoff thing always resets in Discord. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Which means that if something is quieter than a certain value, it is just cut off. Which is why people cut out, or which is also happened to Slovak a couple of times, which is when I talk a bit quieter, then this would not get picked up. But now I've lowered that threshold, so quieter things should still be transmitted. So, right. Discord? No Datcord. Shout out to Kanga. Yes, comments off on kids' videos. Thanks, because they do that on memes. Yep, Made for Kids videos have the YouTube Kids logo beneath them, beneath the description of the hand-drawn YouTube logo, and you can't comment. Yeah, use some headphones. That's, I believe, what he's doing. Yes. There's a bit of background noise, but it's fine for me, because the mic can pick up sound coming from speakers. Yes. It's the 10-second delay sound, Ghost of Paradise. I'm not a ghost yet. Yes. WL, your voice sounds like Darko and Yummy Mash from YouTube. I've no idea who these people are.
I've got a feeling it's because I know at least that Darko is English, so it might just be something to do with that.
Probably. In which case, you do sound a bit like them from the accent. If they are. Never heard of the latter. Shadows. Large prairies are also British Railways prairies. Yes, I know. Thanks, I think. I've heard of Yanni Mash and watch Darko from time to time. Darko. Shadows, maybe if you change that setting in Discord when you're outside of voice chat, maybe if it resets if you're in voice chat. That would be annoying. If you change in voice chat, right? I've heard of Darko, yeah, probably because of that. Okay, so let's get back to pasting sugarcane. Right. Oh, I'll need to do a bit of more work here because it's pasting with gaps because of how I selected it, but that's okay. Right. Good. I seem to remember that last time you were on voice chat, we were talking about some quite interesting things, and we didn't really notice that the time ran over. I can't really remember what we were talking about.
Neither can I.
Huh. Hey, maybe someone can look at the archive on YouTube and figure out what we're talking about. Right. So.
Oh yes, Tales of Astea. I remember that now.
Oh, has Kangafango said something?
Hey, VGR. Whose FPS are you talking to? Whose FPS are you talking about? Mine or Paradise's?
No, it's frames per second. So it's the stream, the visual of the stream. So it's me, and yes, my frames per second is quite low. Trainz TRS-19 generally has low FPS for me, and it's because of my Mac. If you install this root, you will likely not have these FPS issues. Yes. Maybe I can try turning down the shadows or something, but yeah. Oh, sugarcane. Shut Eyes, roleplay stuff, I think. Tales of Astea, your system, Shut Eyes. Your work in progress system. Things like that. Examples of play. My 15U series somehow survived Trainz 19. Somehow. Oh, well then, congratulations to you. And to your 15U, or is it I5U, or L5U? Oh, it's probably I5U. I ran Trainz on my laptop. So did I many years ago. I said Sugar Shane. Oh, Cougar Shane. Cougar Shane. Oh, of course. Cougar Shane. Ooh, Cougar Shane. Not Sugar Cane. I5. Oh, I5. Like high five, but yeah. Yeah, it makes sense now. The U series irritated me a little bit in the sense of confusion, not in the sense of annoyance. Right. So, yes. Right. So the roleplay group, which will start up again soon. Mr. W, do you have any things that you need to prepare before then?
I can, if we, I mean, the character sheets for your campaign,
I've got them.
I can probably find them really easy.
I think I've got them.
Oh, right, you've got them.
Yeah, which means that I will have to...
I could find the physical copies if need be, and depending on how Roll20 works, I mean, I've got pens and paper if I need to do something. I mean, we're probably going to be starting a new Pathfinder one.
Actually,
Go on.
Okay, so first of all, I will likely be continuing my Star Trek game, because in that game...
I thought so.
Yeah, because in that game, I didn't finish this even. I need to finish this. Because in that game, I did so much build-up. I put so many clues, and such an elaborate story had begun. And the thing is, before lockdowns, because I wanted to reach a climax in the story at the end of 2019. So the end of the year, I wanted a big finish, because I knew that the one who was organizing the group was planning to have a longer session than usual on New Year's. So months beforehand, I had already been ramping things up with the Tholian ship and the time column that you got. Yeah?
You're giving it away. Ixnay on the Ipco.
No, I mean, for people who are in the game, that this has already happened, so it's not anything that you don't know. Things you don't know, I won't give away. Yeah, so the time column, and you remember those people, the Maquis who got kidnapped from their planet. The colony was empty, if you remember that. And then in that stellar nursery, that whole thing where you found them, and they said they were constructing something, and those strange signals that were appearing and disappearing followed you, going faster and faster, and the first officer whose symbiont was stolen, if you remember.
Tobin.
Yeah, Timur Tobin. And what happened with that, where you just narrowly retrieved all of those things, are small parts of a thing that I've been building up to in that story for months. And literally, the session... literally a couple days before that huge session was supposed to happen, the lockdowns started. Well, not lockdown. I think maybe that wasn't lockdowns. Maybe it was... Well, the group was cancelled anyway. Maybe lockdowns hadn't started yet, but the group was cancelled.
Yeah.
The group was cancelled, and yeah, I mean the desert.
Very much annoyed.
Yeah, you. I mean, if you think about it, you've gone back in time. The ship crashed on the desert world. You were those storms, the glass wall deflecting the sandstorms, and the earthquakes, and exploring those submerged ancient temples, finding the Bajoran orb casing, all of those things. And then when you found Bluebug, the shuttle, which had been there for 50 years with the captain's skeleton in it, even though the captain hadn't died, all of those things with the dilithium crystals that would need recrystallizing, all of those things, exploring the environment there, discovering information about the different species that live there and how this world works. You know that this world will be torn apart within the next 100 years or so based on the stars, because when you first found that planet, it was torn in two, if you remember, before you had gone back in time. Yeah? All of that had been building up. And I want to continue that game.
It was ripped away from you.
Yeah, I want to continue that game when we start using Roll20. I don't want to start again and have to start from the beginning, because there are so many...
Go on.
Because there are also so many interesting character plots in there. The thing with Kastormdosh and with the strange behavior from Selena, if you remember. And, the engineer as well. John Spanner. Other characters. There are... yeah. Anyway, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll check out Roll20 tomorrow. Kango just said that it would be that the Star Trek Adventure game would be on Saturdays and Wednesdays or Thursdays.
Let me read that. Okay, well let me just
chat.
read chat. Let me just read chat.
Mm.
You've heard from the GS classes from Southern Pacific, but you all didn't know there is a GS1, GS7, GS8. You're right. I didn't. If I saw a picture of it, maybe I'd recognize it, but maybe not. I literally thought it was gonna explode, but it didn't. Oh, you mean your graphics card? Well, yes, that's always nice when things that you hoped wouldn't explode don't explode. Nice, glad it didn't. Just out of curiosity, will you be continuing your Star Trek Adventures game? I hope so, yes. Who here remembers Timor Tobin? Raise your hands and feet. I remember it, but I shall not raise them. Me not, Soz. Oh, Tobin! Never mind. Shades, would be nice.
I can remember his first name.
Yeah, Timor Tobin. Tobin. Shadows, would be nice if the Star Trek Adventure game, Saturday and Wednesday, Thursday, were all TV serialized.
Serialized.
Yeah, so what
that was my bad. That's the other group.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the other group. Which was the
Don't need to mention it. I remember where. Don't.
I'm not going to mention. I'm not going to mention the location. I'm just going to say it was a volunteer group that I ran.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh. That'd be breathtacular. And Mr. Sullivan. Yes, Mr. Sullivan is a character from that volunteer game I ran. Wait, wrong game.
Oh.
Yeah, he was an interesting character. Really enjoyed that one. Thank you. No, that's a misunderstandment. I meant Star Trek Adventures games. Yes. The other group was on Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry about that. Never mind then, my bad. Serialized. Yes. So, yeah. About the whole world change thing. Oh, and before that, he was also an interested character about the whole world change. Yes, the entire world changed, not serialized. 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 Oh, I see. Serialized.
I've not heard of that. I've only heard it pronounced serialized.
Yes, well, it's a different word. In what Kang Fango type, there is no L. It's probably a word he made up. Right, so I made up the term, exactly. Just what I thought. TV series, yes. That would be nice if those were made into TV series. Although I think that some moments wouldn't be that fitting, some more of the sillier moments.
Oh no, that would be funny. It'd be like Red Dwarf.
Maybe. I haven't actually seen Red Dwarf. I mean, I've seen a Red Dwarf, like an actual star, a Red Dwarf type star, but I haven't actually seen the series.
It is quite funny, actually.
Good.
The person who plays Lister in it actually, I think for a time, hosted Robot Wars.
I had no idea.
Dave something, I think his name is. No. Dave Lister was the character's name. No, I can't remember who the guy was.
Let me recopy these, because now they appear to be a bit straighter.
Will we be, when we do start it again on Roll20, will we be using our physical character sheets?
Probably
or
not.
Will there be virtual ones?
Probably not, because Roll20 has an integrated character sheet system, so that, for example, it automatically adds numbers together, or if you click on a stat, then it automatically rolls a die. You can enable 3D dice, And I mean, if you want to, you can use a physical character. However, virtual characters are better because, at least with Roll20, if for no other reason than that it makes cheating impossible. Not that I think that any of the players would cheat, but just in case.
You can never be too careful.
Because the GM can actually look at all files on there. So the GM can look at the characters, which also helps, not just against cheating, but also for explanation purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for explanation purposes.
Sure.
If a character, if a player has a...
Go on.
If a player has a question, like, oh, how does this thing work? Then the GM can just look at their character sheet and see what they mean. Oh, you mean this thing? Oh, yeah, this works this way, without the player having to painstakingly describe what they mean.
Yeah. So do character sheets come with basically come with a Roll20 account?
No, it's a bit different. The thing is, the Roll20 account is free. You can upgrade.
Yeah.
You can upgrade, but that's really only a thing for the GM, and we probably won't need it anytime soon. When you're in a game, then all the files you have are going to be local to that game. So you're going to have a journal, and inside that journal is going to be a file called your character sheet, as well as any other handouts.
And you have access to them?
Yes, I do.
Right, good.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to getting back into it.
Me too, definitely.
Are most people going to be joining, or do we have some that won't be?
Well, a few. Well, most of them, yes. 2 of them, I'm not sure yet. I
think I know which 2 you mean.
Yeah, probably. Nobody's really heard back from them.
I'm going to say I'm not surprised if they wouldn't be completely into it.
Yeah.
So that means there'll be 4 people, or 3 and a GM, which should be enough.
Well, it depends on whether Kango Fango wants to join, or if any other people watching or from Discord would like to try it out.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, yeah, well, sure. Well, being as these aren't going to be live streamed,
yep.
Then surely Kango would want to join, or wouldn't have a problem with joining in the live stream regard.
Yeah.
Why would he have a problem with that? He streams on Twitch. For God's sake.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Why did I?
It makes sense if you think about it in a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't think Kango Fango. I don't think that would have been an issue for Kango Fango. I think it's more of whether he would want to come back to the group. It's really up to him. Right. So.
I hope he does.
Yeah, me too. Right. What was I talking about? I was talking about something.
It was Roll20.
Yeah. I've just remembered what we had. I just remembered what we'd talked about last stream when time ran out.
Oh yeah.
We had talked about your first time GMing, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
And I mentioned that on one time, not on one time, but one tangent I was about to go on was making stuff up on the fly, which I said that I wanted to touch on later. However, I couldn't because there wasn't enough time. So, if it's okay with you, I would like to read chat, and then maybe we can talk about that, because making stuff up on the fly is, I think, an interesting subject to talk about. Okay, so let's read. So, haven't heard of the game you guys are talking about. It's maybe some obscure game like Infra. It's tabletop role-playing, yes, Star Trek. It's Star Trek Adventures, STA. It's a pen and paper role-playing game, which aims to emulate the experience of watching a Star Trek TV episode, a good one, by that I mean old Star Trek, in the form of a role-playing game where you take on the persona of a character. You've got your own character sheet. You control them, but the world around them is controlled by the GM or the game master. Right, Star Trek. Oh, then why don't you say so? We didn't we?
Well, we did.
The thing is, I think I called it STA, or Star Trek Adventures. So it's the STA. STA is an abbreviation for Star Trek Adventures. Yes. Not sure. Maybe I said it too quickly. Maybe I said something like Star Trek Adventures, and then maybe people didn't hear that. Not sure. Sorry, guys. Role-playing is not my kind of thing outside of game, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely fine. You don't have to join. Of course, if you would like to give it a try, then, of course, I would love that, but you don't have to. There's no obligation, of course. For example, imagine this. If it were done with real-life dice, GM, all right, roll me con plus control, please. Player, sure, rolls 2d20s, which is 2 20-sided dice. By the way, dice is only the plural. Singular is die. Which a lot of professionals make that mistake. Even people who publish role-playing games make that mistake sometimes.
It just doesn't make sense. Because surely if that was if it was the plural, surely the plural of die would be dies rather than dice.
Yes, you're right, but it's English. It's
linguistic.
It is a language. It is a natural language, which means it doesn't always make sense.
Yes, but linguistic. Yes, but English still uses basic linguistics.
Yes, but there are many exceptions, especially in English, because English is a very cobbled together language. You've got a very small amount of native Britain, so the language the Britons spoke, then most of it comes from Latin, and then you've got stuff that comes from languages that came from Latin. So you've got, because for example, German, a lot of the other Germanic languages, also Romantic languages such as French, Spanish, Italian, they all mostly come from Latin, the variations of Latin that have evolved. And then English, in addition to having Latin words, a lot of them, also borrows words from those other languages, which are also thrown in there and then modified. And in addition to that, you've got the Viking conquest, and I do say Viking because I am talking about the raiders here, not just the people from Norway. Yes, they were from Norway, but that's not what I mean. Who conquered England and settled here. So a lot of the Norwegian language, the Old Norwegian language, is also incorporated into English. So you've got this cobbled together language which is cobbled together from so many different languages and variations, which is so old. And then it doesn't really come to, at least it doesn't surprise me, that in a lot of cases, English doesn't work in the way that you would expect it to work.
I've heard English described as a glorious bastard language, which I think is quite good.
Yeah. Right. So let me continue reading Kangafanga's message. 2d20s. Both land on 20, player thinks. Ugh, 2 20s. Just my luck. Actually, no one can see the dice. I can just speaks. Yes, I've got 2 1s, GM. Oh, your character's life is going to become quite complicated, shall we say. Player, what? I got 2 1s. That's a critical success, not failure, GM. Nope. In Star Trek Adventures, it's the reversed. I think you messed that up a little bit, because in Star Trek Adventures, 20 is the critical failure and 1 is the reward, the critical success. So if the player lied and said that they got 2 1s, that would mean that in Star Trek Adventures they got 2 critical successes, which means that it's not right that the GM says that it's reversed in the way that it would be a failure. I think you got those two mixed up.
Also, in Pathfinder, why would you lie about getting 2 1s? Because that's 2 critical failures.
In Pathfinder, you mean?
Yeah, in Pathfinder, getting 2 1s is 2 critical failures, isn't it? Or well, not critical failures, but 2. What are they called?
It depends. It depends. If you're doing a skill, normally it's just a very low number. In combat, it is a fumble, which depending on the game, depending on your GM, will probably have negative consequences. Right, Slav Eagle, what do you mean outside of game? Also, why don't you give it a go or maybe just watch a few times? Have you ever tried it? Just curious. Yeah, sure. I would like to return to the group. Great. That's very nice. I meant outside of video games. Ah, fair enough. I did try several role-playing games with different things going on. Never caught on. Yeah, it depends. It really depends. On your GM, mostly, because what kind of game your GM runs is very different. Very, very different. Alone, a lot of the 2 main categories is combat-focused game or a story-focused game. I run story-focused games, which doesn't mean that there isn't action in them. Right. Alright, although the fun in that experience does largely depend on the game and the GM. You're right. Not my thing too. I like to write my own adventures or sketches. Yes. That's great. Yeah. You might like GMing. GM, yes. Still not understand the terms. GMing means you are the storyteller, the arbitrator of the rules, the one who runs the game. Game Master. Nah, or DMing, Dungeon Master. Yes, Dungeons and Dragons calls it DMing. A lot of other games call it GMing, Game Mastering. Others call it as the storyteller or the narrator as well.
Master.
Yeah. It's running the game, yeah. It's been a long time since I played. In Star Trek Adventures, not Pathfinder. It was Star Trek Adventures. I know, it was just a comment on it. Player thinks, I could have been honest there, actually. I'll try it now. Speaks. Actually, GM, I've got to be honest with you. I lied. Yes, I lied about the 2 1s. I thought this game worked like the other RPGs, and 1 is bad, 20 is good. I actually got 2 20s. I did good. GM, nope. But the thing is, that would make it worse, because in Star Trek Adventures, 20 is a critical failure, it's a complication. Ah, okay, Mr. Nah, most of my stories center around a main character that in some is godlike and literally cannot be killed. Well, there is room for that. There is actually a role-playing game. Well, for example, maybe Mutants and Masterminds might be good. There's also another one which centers around demigods. That might also be interesting to you. A lot of people also call it DM, even though there isn't any dungeon nearby. Right, so with that read, let's continue with building. Right. Yes, so, on the fly. Doing stuff on the fly. So, what do you think? I'm curious. When I talk about running a game on the fly, what do you think that I mean by that?
Well, it could mean sort of multiple things. It could mean coming up with a whole story, or coming up with with one bit, and then making up as you go along from there. It could mean letting the players decide what they do and basing your decisions, both combat and story, based from there.
So, that is true. That is true. When I say making stuff up on the fly, on
the fly, on an insect.
Well, yeah, of course. That's where I get most of my good ideas. Right. So, when I say running a game on the fly, you can take that to different extents. Like, for example, a very limited way of making things up on the fly is that you have already planned out a story, and a session, how you expect things to go, but the players do something unexpected, and now you have to come up with something on the fly to get the players back on track. Yeah? Which...
all of our sessions, basically.
Well, actually, no. Which, because it might feel like that, which means that I've done a good job at doing stuff on the fly, but actually, no. Because the thing is...
so we're surprisingly contained.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's not what I meant. So if you go further than that, you've got sandbox games where you've got vague, where you've basically got a world where stuff is happening in the background and the players can interact with the world in any way possible. And the GM only thinks about, okay, how would this impact the world, and then simulates that. So that is a sandbox game is basically just a simulation of the world in which the players can do stuff that they want in. Now, actually,
no real story, just mess around, basically.
Well, a lot of the time,
to some extent.
Yes, a sandbox game. Now, the first, what I said first, which is basically you've still got a pre-thought out game, and you only have to come up with stuff on the fly to get the players back on track. That can be very good if the game is interesting enough. But if the players are going off track because they're bored with the story you've come up with, then trying to get the players back on track isn't going to do any good.
No, they're just going to steer off track.
Yeah. The sandbox game can be very, very interesting if you've got players that have quite a lot of initiative. If you've got players, and by that I don't mean the stat, I mean the actual character, the player.
I was about to make a gag of that.
Haha, I knew you were. So.
Yep.
With
how come you can see them coming, but I can never see them coming when you do them?
Well, it's probably because...
when Kango doesn't.
It's probably because I think about that a lot when I talk. Oh, how could this be taken? Could this be taken in a different way? I think, oh, there's a pun here someone could make. I don't even do it consciously. It's just something I've gotten used to doing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sandbox games, if you've got players with initiative, they can be a lot of fun to play in. If you've got players... I can imagine. Yeah, so if you've got a player and the player says, the GM says, okay, you're in this world, these are the political powers, this is the map, you're here, you've got this much money and this equipment, do what you want. Then if you've got...
go have fun with politics.
Yeah, if the players want to do that. So if you've got players, if you've, for example, got a player who then takes that and says, okay, well, we've not got a lot of money, so... because actually one of the big upsides of sandbox games is that the players will have the most impact on the world that they will ever have. In sandbox games... Yeah. So if a player says, okay, we don't have that much money, so to do any real stuff in this world, we're going to need more money. So how do we get that? Okay, well, we're adventurers. Maybe we can find a dragon's hoard. Maybe we can do... so then they ask for quests and they get started like that. And then when they've got money, they've leveled up a bit, then maybe players with initiative could say, like, okay, well, we've got all this money, let's set up a trading network. Let's buy some ships, start up a trading network. Maybe learn a bit more about politics. Maybe buy a castle or build a castle and that sort of thing. Which is, I think, where where sandbox games shine, because they allow the players to do that. But if you've got players with not a lot of initiative, then it can end up just like the player describes the world setting and says, yes, to the north lay the shattered lands. Legend says that a dragon fell to earth, shattering the lands thousands of years ago. To the south are the enormous deserts of pebbles and glass. And if the player then says, if the GM then says, like the kingdoms, the 5 kingdoms that make up the desert are centered around oases, which are the lifeblood of any life there. The one who controls the most oases has the most power. Occasionally, oases dry up, and so the balance of power continuously shifts, and things like that. If the GM gives that description,
it can be very descriptive based campaign.
Yeah, if the GM gives that description at the start of the game, and the players are really excited and want to explore this world, then that's great. But if the GM says that and then says, you are currently in the small port town of Siltmouth, your ship has just arrived, it is a sunny day, the birds are singing, there are quite a few dock workers around, what would you like to do? And then if the players just sit there and just look at each other and just go, then if the players don't have that much initiative, one of them might eventually say, well, let's look for a tavern. Yeah? Hoping desperately that the GM will give them a plot hook that they can hold on to get into the story, which, if it's a true sandbox game, the GM probably won't. So let me read chat, and then then we'll continue. Right. So where was I? Okay. All right. Where do you read that? Red? I don't know. Actually, Shadow's one-shots. One-shot is not as... Well, not... I don't think one-shots are a good sandbox. Well, they can be, but I think because one-shots are very short... But if you don't know, one-shot is a role-playing game which is only played in one session. After the session, the game is over. Because usually games carry on from session to session. Actually, yeah, so I don't think one-shots are great for that, because sandbox games tend to take quite a bit of time to explore the world and to do that sort of thing. However, if you give the players a lot of power to start with, then maybe, like if you make each player a king of a separate country, and then you have a sandbox game, say, okay, go, then a lot can happen in a one-shot sandbox game. But that's a very rare thing. I've never actually played in a game like that. Slavic Eagle says...
And hey, other Chris, by the way.
Yes. Yes. Slavic Eagle says, running a game on the fly. Tying a game board to a fly with a rope and letting it run around. Basically, yes. XDDD. Brilliant. The day the flies stood still. The combination of The Fly and The Day the Earth Stood Still, the movies. Heard of that? Oh? You're saying it actually exists? Oh. Right.
Yeah, I thought I had heard of it.
Yeah, there are 2 films called The Day the Earth Stood Still, which are sci-fi films.
And The Fly.
And The Fly.
Isn't The Fly where man has a fly's head?
Yes.
Put on his.
Yeah, in the story, it's basically a mad scientist has discovered teleportation, and because he wasn't careful, a fly ended up in the teleportation chamber with him.
Oh.
Yeah, you already know where this is going. Right. Thought I heard of it. I've only heard of The Fly and The Day the Earth Stood Still. Well, not only, yeah, but those 2 I've heard of. Initiative, I got plenty of it. Great. Here's some explosives. Go blow them up. Well, that genuinely happens sometimes. XD. GM, the light at the end of the tunnel appears in front of you. The brightness of the sunlight after exclusively being exposed to dark and damp corridors, rooms, and horrific traps, it fills you to the brim with happiness, freedom, and just plain hope. And as you approach it, roll initiative. There we go.
Has Kango ever DM'd a game?
He has, yes. I think twice.
Oh.
Well, I've only actually played, 3 times maybe. I've only actually played in one of them. I would love it if Kango Fango DM'd more, like for example in the volunteer group, but so far he hasn't really been that interested in it. Which is a bit of a pity, because I think he'd be a good GM.
Have I been in a session that he's GM'd or DM'd?
I am unsure.
I don't think so.
It could be that particular session you were busy otherwise. Otherwise busy, I mean. Anyway, players and the characters. Ah! Yes, exactly. Oh, hell yeah. Shadows, it's always dragons, isn't it? Actually...
Always dragons.
The thing is,
has been.
for Dungeons and Dragons being named Dungeons and Dragons, the modern way of... the modern popular ways of playing it, at least according to live games I've watched and experiences playing Pathfinder and things I've read, actually Dungeons and Dragons only appear very, very rarely anymore.
It's mostly goblins. It's mostly goblins that are the sort of the main cannon fodder villain.
In the beginning, yes, because in the beginning players are low level. They need to fight. If you're running a game with combat, they need to fight stuff that won't kill them. So yeah. First Songmar, now this. Oh, wrong game again. Yes, Songmar is a dragon in my volunteer game. Shadows, Siltmoth, yes, you need to do that. Oh, Trainz, haven't seen this for a while. Well, Trainz is on every Saturday and every Tuesday. This Trainz editor is so damn good. Yes, you're right. There's actually one of those on this map. Damn, I mean. Hello, Whistlehead. Oh, Whistlehead.
Wait, Whistlehead?
Apparently that Chris is Whistlehead. Welcome. Oh, right, because I posted in the forum. Oh, well, hello there, Chris.
Who's Whistlehead?
Whistlehead is one of the people in the Fellows Films forum, where I posted a link to this stream that will be happening there. He's probably come from there. Hello, welcome.
Well, hi, I guess.
Yeah. Hello, Whistlehead. Fancy seeing you here. Hey, advertising works. An RP campaign set in a town in the lovely broad gauge, narrow gauge town. Yes. Yep. You've got a 60% accurate description of my stories. Great. Sounds cool. For example, you're probably still typing a lot. I've GM'd thrice. Yeah. Yes. Oh, twice in the volunteer group and once on Saturday. My first ever time being there. That is great. So,
wait. First ever time, and you GM'd. Good grief.
Well, in that group. He was in the volunteer group before that, though. Right.
Right.
So, I think that if I put sugarcane fields over on this side of the tracks, going along here, well, two of them probably, then I think that this will probably be big enough for the sugarcane area if I put normal fields around the edge. Actually, no, that's not true, because down here, this line, I wanted to go to another sugarcane pickup area, which will likely be over here somewhere. Have I actually already placed it? No, I haven't. So I'll have to place at least another column of fields over here. Okay. So let's actually put in.
I was going to say for certain systems, a lot of people tend to be either players or GMs. They tend to have a preferred and better way of doing either being a player or a GM.
Why do you say that?
Well, that's what because one of the people there have said that I make a far better player than a GM. I think just without sort of learning any of the things about GMing or playing, I think quite a few people sort of naturally they're either better players or better DMers.
Well, I think that is true to some extent, because if you're a GM, it does mean that you have quite a lot of responsibility, not only for knowing the basics of the rules, but also for keeping the game interesting, not only for yourself, but for the other players as well, and keeping it coherent and things like that. But I think, but the thing is that it takes a lot more to be a GM than it does to be a player. So if you're relatively new to a system, you will always be a better player than a GM, or if you're just new to role-playing in general, simply because of the fact, that the GMing does take more to do. Yes, so let's read. In the group, Pathfinder, yeah. I remember I had so much stuff planned out. It was only one shot, but we only got about 1/4 of the way there. Yeah, that is how it always goes. That is very true. You plan out so much stuff, and then you only get very, very small amount through it. But that's good if you're in a recurring game, because then you don't have to plan that much for the next time. Right, so... in one of my sketches, the main character is a NATO soldier, Lieutenant Commander Andrei, or probably Andrei, which is tasked with...
Andre, maybe?
Andre. Oh, right, yeah, that could be the case. I was reading it in a more German way. But maybe. Which is tasked with hunting down an international terrorist named Mubarak, which is believed to be responsible for multiple terrorist attacks to promote his own private army of robotic soldiers powered by a mysterious substance found only in Egypt. That could be an interesting story. Oh, I see. Do you write professionally or intend to, dude? I remember when I first joined the group and was introduced to the players. One of them said he was scared because I didn't forget his name. Yes, I remember that as well. I don't know. Just hobby then? Yes, alongside airsofting.
I've asked him what that is. I don't know what that is.
Isn't airsofting when you... Isn't
airsofter? I don't know.
Isn't airsofting the... when you're in gunfights with those air guns that use compressed air to shoot plastic balls? Isn't that airsofting, or am I maybe confusing it with something? I don't know.
It is, yeah, I think you've got it.
I'm just going to say this. Since the game won't ever end up being continued, I did have a dragon planned. Airsofting? White one. Oh, a white dragon. Frost one, isn't that? Might be. Don't remember, to be honest. Okay, so mini tangent, okay? Mini tangent.
Oh, boy.
In Dungeons & Dragons lore, and through that in Pathfinder lore, there are two basic types of dragon. The chromatic dragons and metallic dragons. Generally, chromatic dragons, so red dragons, green dragons, blue dragons, that sort of thing, are evil. And the metallic dragons, so gold, copper, bronze, silver,
I think,
are good. Which, that was the mini tangent. So yes. Now back to what I wanted to say before. So, it was... All right, I remember.
Aren't they all aren't they all lawful dragons, or is the alignment change?
Know.
I mean, I know it would either be good or evil, but
I don't know. I don't know about that. So yeah, what I was saying about before is making stuff up on the fly. So yeah, we talked about those who we've talked about making stuff up on the fly to get the players back on track. We've talked about sandbox games. Now another way, and this is the way that I generally make stuff up on the fly, is that I plan out plot points, so moments that I want to get to. Like, for example...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's an example, which didn't actually happen. But, for example, if I wanted the players to have... Okay, here's a classic example. To have an epic fight with a dragon at the peak of a mountain. Yeah? Then I would think, okay, well, how do they get there? Well, they're going to need to level up, they're going to need magic items. So what magic items could I give them? Oh, okay, I'll give them this magic item. And then making stuff up on the fly is basically how I connect these things. So I think up, I could connect these this way, so if the players follow this course of action, then they'll get to this thing, and to this thing, and to this thing, and eventually they get there. I play the game, the players do the exact opposite. So then I can just make stuff up on the fly, move my plot points around, and then make it so that the players do eventually get to those plot points, but a different way, the way that they chose. Because that way, the story still has pacing to it and a structure. However, what the players do and decide to do isn't an illusion. The players do actually impact the story and how it continues. And that's what I do a lot of the time. However, sometimes that just doesn't work, because a player will do something that will mean that the thing that you had meticulously planned cannot exist.
It doesn't go to fruition.
Yeah, it would be contradictory. It would not be able to exist. In which case, I just brainstorm. I just think of, that would be cool. Yes, I can put that in. Sure, I can substitute this thing with that thing, and then that'll work. And I just go with that.
You have a quick mind to do that, I suppose.
Yeah, you do. But you develop that if you're a GM. That is a thing that you develop. Are you cold?
I'm just going to stop you there a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to go in the chat and close the window, and I'm going to
turn on the heating?
Check. The heating was already on. I'm going to close the window and change into something warmer.
Okay, in that case, I'll read chat in the meantime.
See you in a bit.
Okay. Wait, have you left your... No, you haven't. That's good. Oh no, he has. Hello, Echo. Hello, Echo. Hello, Echo. Wait for it. Huh, apparently he's turned it off. Okay. Don't know. Yeah. S and man, something wrong with my keyboard. That's annoying. Trainz, right, mini tangent 23 minutes later. So yes. Yeah. Trainz, right. Might have been a silver one? I'm not sure. I think you've underestimated the tangent time. I thought putting 34 minutes, but yeah, I thought 23 should be enough. Besides, Dragon Tangent is over now. Hours maybe. In my first session, I remember that a random event rolled ended up having a fire in the blacksmiths. Yes, that is another very important thing, random events. That's a great tool to generate content from, which is a thing that I'll get to shortly. Which took around an hour or two, yeah. Shadows, don't forget to shave. That's okay. Anyway, Lieutenant Andre is sent in by NATO as a 3-man crew, composing of his sister Zerea and his childhood friend Luna. They are in Egypt under the pretext to help end the civil war between pro-Mumbaka supporters and Mumbarak Corps opposants. It's a cover-up for the real intention of finding and killing Mubarak. I see. Sure, for example, if the players don't go into the cave, move the bear from there to the woods. Yeah, exactly. Or whether the players decide to go. Yeah. Let me save again. Right, so... Right, fields. Let's get to texturing. Right. Nope, that's not good. Also, hello, Chris at LA, or Chris at La, at LA. Hello, welcome. I didn't know you were in here. At the moment, I'm just texturing fields, as you can probably tell. When Mr. W returns, we'll continue our discussion. Yes. Oh, and by the way, if the talk about role-playing is... if it gets too much for you, and you'd rather talk about a different subject, then feel free to suggest something, because I don't want to bore anyone. Right. So with this route, so the thing is, when I've got these, well, these 3 fields finished here, I think this is probably going to be the extent of the sugarcane plantation. I may add another 3 fields over here. I probably will, actually. I probably will add another 3 fields over here, but this will be it. I will need a connection to the river, which just goes out into the off, depending on how far I'll extend the baseboards. And then I'll just have woods and other fields around the edges here. Right. I won't bother to tell you the introduction scene of the first assignment upon arriving in Egypt, but it involves rescuing a female subject found by Mumbarak during his excavations for the mystery substance. They go to his personal club on a stealth mission. I see. Hopefully we won't get in trouble with the Secret Service for telling us this. Right. Also, here's the thing I want to say. The Coalmint Mountains Railroad is going to be available for purchase as DLC for Trainz. No, I can't hear you in voice chat. Nope, can't hear you. How long have you been back? Maybe you've turned off your mic? Only just got back. Maybe you've turned off your mic. I don't know. No, it's fictional. The story takes place in 2023. Yeah, I thought yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke. Right. So the Coleman Mountains Railroad is going to be available for purchase as DLC very soon. It's the first DLC I'll have uploaded for Trainz. And yes, I've had to exchange all of the TB 2D seasonal trees for speed trees, which I'm finally done with, and it looks so good now. It looks so good now. However, the sessions still need testing. The sessions still need testing. Are you back, Mr. W? I can't hear you. Maybe you turned off your... Did you mute your mic when you went away? What exactly did you do? Did you mute your mic? Well, let me reconnect. Maybe that will help. Okay, say something now, to see if I can hear you. Nope, can't hear you. You must have done something on your end. Did you maybe... Did you connect a different microphone or disconnect a microphone? What exactly did you do? Huh. Do your headphones have a microphone in them? Like, is there a built-in microphone with your headphones? You'll have to type in chat because I can't hear you. Obviously. Okay, well, bye there. Thank you very much for joining. In hearing the rest of what I wrote, DM on Discord. I'll join your server first thing tomorrow morning. I am at Klee with a gun. Oh, I see. Right. I've taken the mic out. Headphones, I mean. Alright, headphones, I mean. That is quite strange. Well, you can always try turning it off and on again. Maybe that will help. Oh, I can hear you! I can hear you! I could hear you just then. Say something. Nope, can't hear you. I could hear you for maybe a second or so, but I can't hear you anymore. Maybe it would be quicker to actually add these without copy-pasting them if they're this far apart. Yeah, I cannot hear you, unfortunately. Like, can you choose what microphone the laptop is using? Maybe? I am not that familiar with Windows. Maybe if your headphones have a built-in mic. I'm trying that now. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut the sugarcane splines here. It's easier than moving them all the way back. I mean, if you can't get it to work, you can always try turning it off and on again. I know that sounds like a joke, but it isn't. That genuinely works often with technological things. Kangfang says, maybe go to your Discord account settings, see what microphone it uses. Maybe. I don't know that much about that either. Right. So, that's what I'm trying. If all else fails, you could always try restarting your computer. You would miss a bit of the stream even then, though. Yeah, but I think it might be worth it. I'm only placing the sugarcane splines here at the moment. You probably wouldn't miss that much. Okay, restarting, good. See you a bit. Yes, see you in a bit. Alright. Good luck indeed. And there he goes. Right. Why do I feel like someone's just walked out the room? Oh, you're back, but now it says you're muted. Oh, there you go, you're unmuted. I think that Kangofango meant restarting your computer, not restarting the website. I think he meant restarting your computer. So basically turning it off and on again. Actually, let me try and copy and paste some more of this. Maybe I can get a better selection which wouldn't have those gaps in it. How stupid has to someone be to make a 36-foot boxcar that is 40 foot long in Trainz? Do you mean because of you want a very short boxcar for your interurban thing? For interurban thing, I'm assuming. Hello, Mr. W. Can you hear me? And again, a 36-foot boxcar which doesn't have rotating bogies. Wait, I can hear you. I can hear you. Hello.
Good. I didn't even restart the computer. I just reset the voice settings.
Huh. Yes, I can hear you. Hello, 1 2. Yes.
I'm just gonna plug in my earphones.
Okay.
Hopefully it still works.
Hopefully.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Good, still...
Welcome to the stream.
Good grief. Hey.
Well, you're back. That's good.
Oh dear. If anything like that happens, I'll just need to first reset on the Discord voice settings thing. I don't know what happened because they all seem to be. I didn't change any settings. All I did was take the earphones out.
Do your headphones have a microphone built in?
As I don't believe so. No, they have like a volume button, and like an on and off switch for if you're watching videos, so you can pause them, but not an actual microphone built in. I don't think. Although, that said, why would you... hang on, I'm just going to do a test. I'm going to take them out and then I'm going to say something, see if you can hear.
Okay.
Can you hear?
I can hear you, yes.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Like, louder than usual?
Nope, the same.
Quieter than usual?
Exactly the same.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
That is...
Is there less background noise now, though?
Well, when you were using headphones, there wasn't any background noise.
Is there now?
No, I can't hear any background noise.
Okay. I don't know what that is, then. Yeah, if headphones are microphones, they're normally called headsets, according to Kango.
Yeah, that's true. Right. So, what was it? What was I saying? What was I saying? It was something about making stuff up on the fly. It was something about making stuff up on the fly, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sending a picture of it to your Discord. Oh, well then let's have a quick look at that. I may need to reconnect to Discord in a little bit.
Okay.
So
hello again, everyone.
Yes, that is that is 10 out of 10
Hello.
boxcar. 10 out of 10 boxcar.
Stop. Oh no.
Right. Let me see. Can you still hear me when I've switched over to Trainz? Can you still hear me? Test.
I can indeed.
Good.
I can indeed. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can indeed. Good. Roger. Over. Yes. Over. Yes. Roger.
What?
Over. Yes.
Okay. I heard that. I heard that over and out. The phrase "over and out" is just. It's contradictory because I think "over" means. Oh, hello. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. I think I heard that. I heard that "over and out" is actually contradictory. Because I think "over" means I'm sending you a message. Please receive that you've got it, or please acknowledge you've got it. And "out" means I won't be listening to the next thing. So "over and out" means basically you can respond to this if you like, but I'm not going to be listening.
Well, That's quite interesting, actually. Where did you hear that from?
I heard it from the do you remember that sort of comedy
QI, you mean?
Yeah, QI, yeah.
Ah, interesting.
And they've admitted when they're wrong in the past. So I'm fairly certain, they're correct. And that's not the kind of fact that can sort of change. Not a lot, anyway.
Yeah. Although that would be a very clever ploy, wouldn't it? If you're a liar,
yes.
And then occasionally you tell a lie, or you say something that's not true, and then you admit it freely, because you want to build that
Trust,
relationship, that trust, so that people know, okay, well, he's admitted when he was wrong before, and with this thing, he's holding to it that this is the truth, so it must be the truth, because he has admitted that he was wrong in the past. That would be a clever way of doing it, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. Oh, dear.
Are you cold?
Still a little bit, yeah. I might put a dressing gown on a bit, but I'm not risking taking my headphones out again. No way.
Yes.
I suppose I could just keep them in and then just not be able to hear you speak. But now I'll be fine for a bit.
Okay. Well, you're in charge of you. So,
Hold on.
right. What was the other thing? Yeah, so it was the making stuff up thing. So we've talked about sandbox. We've talked about moving things around the story. So if the players do other things, but sometimes what the players do will make what you had planned impossible. Like for example.
Yeah.
Okay, say that you have introduced a character. He's, for example, a blacksmith in a town, standard fantasy stuff.
Oh, yes.
And your plan is that the blacksmith is actually a smuggler who smuggles in metals from abroad. Yes. And the danger in your world, the big danger, is that magic is seeping into metals, into natural ore.
Ooh.
So that people who touch it get strange magical effects, not good ones, bad ones, which is what's been going on in the background. You've dropped hints to the players that these that miners are being held in captivity and being arrested because they are suspected of being sorcerers or something like that, which is actually the magic in the metals. And this maybe only happens at a specific place. And because the blacksmith is smuggling metals in, he's handling the ones that have magical properties. Now, maybe you've planned that these magical properties can be used to make magical artifacts, like maybe magical weapons or armor or whatever. Yeah? So maybe you thought that when the blacksmith comes down with these magical effects, the players will notice and investigate and will find out that it's actually the metals, and then they can use the blacksmith to create magical artifacts for them. Now that's a reasonable plot, one which might be quite fun to play in, actually. Now, what the players can do is, what if you've got a bard? What if you've got a bard character? What if you've got a bard character?
Well, they can kill the blacksmith.
Yeah, that too. But what if you've got... if they kill the blacksmith, then another blacksmith can take his place, and then you can make that blacksmith the one who's smuggling metal. Because you never said that the previous blacksmith did it, so it's not technically canon yet. So you can just shuffle it around. But if you've got a bard character who has a lot in charisma, and what?
Yes. Which we will have a bard character if you play.
Yes, probably. Yeah, so who has a lot of charisma, highest coin charisma, very good at convincing people. So they go into town and they speak with the blacksmith, and who's already been introduced, it's very clear that this blacksmith is the only guy in town, which you've made so that the players have to deal with him. So they have to stumble on the magical ores. But so he's the only guy in town who can do it. He can't be replaced, you say. There's no replacement for him here. So then, what if the bard somehow manages to convince the blacksmith to accompany them? Yes, you as the GM might be very against that because that will break your story, but the players definitely, to take this from, I speak from experience, from both sides of this, the players will find a way to make your NPCs do stuff that you don't necessarily want them to do, but it's logical, and you don't want it to feel railroady, so you say, okay, this happens. Okay, and each step of the way, you think, as the GM, okay, well, I can cope with it this way. Okay, well, this is not too bad. I can cope with this other way. But then you add everything together, and suddenly the bard is convinced the blacksmith to travel with them and to give up being a blacksmith, instead to become a circus clown. Yeah?
Adventurer.
Yeah? And now you can be in a position where the blacksmith has already gotten some magical abilities from the ores, but the blacksmith has not yet gotten to the point where he figured out where the magic is coming from. So you come up with something on the fly to try to fix this. You come up with some solution to it. Like, for example, that, okay, the blacksmith had a sorcerer somewhere down his family. Maybe his uncle was a sorcerer. So he's got a little bit of magic in his blood, which means that you've still got the explanation for the metal thing, that revelation for later. But then you realize, oh no. But the players know. But wait, no, if the players figure out that it's the metal doing it, then they'll figure out that the blacksmith was supposed to have it, which means that they will know that it won't make sense that he got his magic from the sorcerer, from his uncle. But then you can see you can get yourself into this corner where the things that the players do actively prevent your story from continuing. Yeah? In which case, making stuff up on the fly, sometimes you just have to abandon a storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yes, you put effort into it. It's a great storyline, you planned it all out. Sometimes you've just got to abandon it and go in a completely new, different direction.
Yeah.
In which case, making stuff up on the fly is also very important.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Actually, a thing that helps with that is to let the players make up the story for you, in a way. And by that I mean that you can drop almost random things. Like, for example, the players are going through, are traveling somewhere, they're going through a little town, they stop at an inn for the night, and during the night, the market square disappears. It's just gone. It's just grass and forest where the market square was. There's no sign of it disappearing. It looks like it was never there. However, people remember it. It just disappeared, and now there's nature there. What happened? In that case, what the players will... you, as the GM, may not have any answer to that question. You have no idea what happened. However, the players will discuss it with each other. The players will theorize and think, oh, well, there's nature there now, so maybe a druid did it because but then maybe another player will metagame a little and then say, well, I know that a druid character class doesn't get magic like this. So then they'll say, oh, well, that's true. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a god. Or maybe the market square was never there. Maybe it was an illusion. And because the players are trying to figure out the puzzle, you've essentially got a plethora of solutions delivered to you on a silver platter, and you can just pick the one that makes sense to you, that you like, and then in your head go, okay, this is canon, this is how it works. Or maybe none of them. Maybe the players just bring you onto a good idea, and then you can build the story out from that. Maybe it is a druid. Maybe you heard that that player was metagaming and said, well, the druid class doesn't get magic like that, so it can't be that. And then, just because of that, you want to make it so that a druid did it.
Yeah,
you can make
spite.
Yeah, you're the GM, you can make up rules, you make up magic. Sure, make up a spell, or maybe the druid found a magical item, and so it was a druid that did it. Yeah, and then you can leave clues. Then you can say, okay, well, although this looks very much like nature, as you inspect this, you notice that there is a strange symmetry in this now forest-filled marketplace. You can see that the trees are placed in the corners, and then there's a ring of mushrooms around it, and then further in there's a ring of daisies, and then a ring of poppies. In the center, there is a ring of roses. Yes? And then that may not do anything to the players, it's just nothing. However, maybe next session, when the players give up their investigation and head out onto the road, you could maybe make them come across a stone tower. And then as you describe the tower, you can say, and around the tower's base are a few rings. There's a ring of roses around it. And around that a ring of daisies, and around that a ring of mushrooms. So then the players will make that connection, think, wait, we've seen this before. This happened in the town. Oh, maybe whoever's responsible for that lives in here. Yeah? And then the players go there and investigate, and then you're making it up on the fly like that, which, if you can pull it off, can feel very rewarding, because it gives the players the same amount of freedom as a sandbox game. However, you have an actual story. You have a story that's catered to what the players do. Now, I would like your thoughts on that.
Oh, if you can pull it off, it's going to provide a very organic, very natural feeling story. But I don't think a lot of people would be able to pull that off without quite a bit of experience, and even then I think it would be quite difficult.
Okay. Do you think that it is a method that, if you had more experience in GMing, you would employ?
I don't know. I like to have things quite clearly set out, because as you know, I write books, so there's not really a lot you can do aside from that with that. So I don't know. Maybe I would have. I think what I might do is I would have the plot and the story set out, but then have like a backup option, just in case they did mess it up so much that I couldn't use a particular option. I would then have a backup.
Interesting. So, okay.
I haven't had a lot of experience with proper DMing though. So
yeah, I know. Let me try to think how to best phrase this question.
Respond to that.
No, phrase. I know what my response is. I'm thinking how to best phrase the question. If you, well, actually, let me read chat first. I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Sorry, very anticlimactic. I know. I was starting. Okay,
Yeah,
let me think of the best way to phrase this question, and then silence. Then, if you...
That gives you more
okay,
time
no,
to
no, wait,
think.
let me read chat.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so, yay, hello, welcome back. Hello, yes, if the headphones have microphones, they usually call it yes. We can hear, yes, it's better now. Clearer audio. I am sending a picture of it to your Discord, right? The boxcar? Hello, yes, right. Trainz, I can indeed too. Roger, eh? Exactly, that's the airplane joke. By the way, if you want to see one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, of course, comedy, humor is a subjective thing, but one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, then watch Airplane and Airplane 2.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Leslie Nielsen in them. They are hilarious. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. Yep, I thought about that too. Over but out? Bit weird. Trainz, I've got to remember that for RP. The ploy. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, nothing. Nothing at all. Actually, no, that was a lie. I admit it, I have lied. I see. Digs up...
The Kango is a lie.
The Kango is a lie? I see.
The Kango is a lie. It's like the cake is a lie, but it's the Kango. The Kango cake is a lie. The kangaroo cake is a lie.
Yeah, so, yeah, the Kango is a lie. Yeah, it's a bit like the cake is a lie, only it's a Kango.
Only the Kango is a lie, yes.
Yeah, that sounded so funny, the way you said it. I don't know what about it made it sound so funny, but it sounded funny. Not from a auditory, but
I get what you mean.
Digs up object in desert, reads plaque. Blue bag? Yeah, exactly. Blue bag. Very obscure reference. Not at all. I don't think it's obscure at all. It's a reference to to the Star Trek Adventures game I ran.
We'll explain it later.
Yeah, that will take quite a while. I needed the blacksmith to be ready with his anvil down in floor -75 of the forest dungeon. The players were supposed to turn left at that sign. Yes, I've even put a sign there, but they turned left through the thorn thicket. Didn't get hurt one bit, and now he's up in the mountains with the players. Exactly, that is exactly how things go. XD.
Just quickly, do you remember when we did the campaign where we played as baby dragons, and there was the bit where he said, "I haven't actually sorted out that bit yet because I intended that you were going to escape straight away."
Yeah,
it was like, this area has not been developed by the DM just yet.
Under
Please
construction. Yeah, we were going.
Yeah, under construction.
Yeah, we entered the game. The first thing my character wanted to do is explore the tower we started in, so I wanted to go upstairs.
Yes.
And the GM said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I want to explore the tower. And then he said, well, that area is not finished. You can't go there. There's under construction. There's a sign there, under construction, invisible wall. You can't go there. Which is...
Then why did he put an option to go up there then?
That is...
It just seems a bit confusing.
That is the downfall of railroading. Because...
Yes. Yeah, but if you're going to railroad, don't put an option to go up.
Yeah, exactly, but it wouldn't make sense for there not to be an option, so he had to include it because he wanted to use it later. What? But then he didn't want to make stuff up on the fly, so he just said, no, you can't go there. Which admittedly was funny. Well, it was funny in the...
Why would we come back to the tower, though?
Well, my guess is that... let me just actually continue building here. My guess is...
Yeah.
Because we were, if you remember, our characters were abducted in that scenario. Yes. And my guess is that the GM wanted to have either the final end boss or a boss be the guy who abducted us in the first place. And since it's his tower... he's likely going to be in there. My guess is that the GM thought, okay, the players have been abducted and they've managed to get free. Okay, they'll want to escape. Surely they won't want to face the evil bad guy who they have no hope of defeating yet as the very first thing they want to do. And so he didn't work in that area. What happened was we got free And we had no idea where we were, so we wanted to figure out, okay, what is this place, what's going on? So we wanted, well, I at least wanted to explore the area, the immediate area. Yes, stealthfully, but I wanted to explore the area. Which he hadn't counted on, so, yeah. Anyway. GM frantically writes all of the possible missing market square solutions down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you make stuff up on the fly, you have to either have a good memory, or write things down, because the players will remember. Well, I say that the players will not necessarily remember the big things. They will not necessarily remember the overarching story or things like that. But little things, like the voice you did that you came up with on the spot for the local blacksmith that you had no idea the players wanted to go to, but the player said, "Oh, is there a blacksmith here?" So you said yes, and then you came up with a voice. The players will remember that. So you need to write things, either remember it or write things down. Maybe just a little note. Just say blacksmith, then the town's name, maybe Scottish accent, and maybe the name as well.
Oh, yeah.
The name is a good thing as well to write down, is because, right. So let me read chat. Quite a good story name, that. The Case of the Missing Market Square. Yeah. Part 49. We've just found fingerprints. Flower Portal. The game. Right, there's one corridor. There are no side corridors. The dungeon door slammed shut behind you. Go down it. Yeah, player. Uses crowbar on bricks. On bricks. GM. No, you can't do that. Yeah, exactly. What? Did I do a funny? Miss W, meant to talk Paradise, sorry. Oh, right, you said that. Should I make screenshots at that warehouse populated by fictional or real company boxcars? Screenshots, yes. And as for boxcars, I would say it doesn't really matter as long as they are good. If you want, although if you have to choose, probably real ones. Yeah, I got it. It was a lie all along. I was a lie all along. Haha. GM could have just said, the stairs that go up is completely covered with rubble. He could have, but that is also very railroady, I think. But there's not, if you can pull it off, if the game's fun with it, then that's perfectly okay. Wish I had been there for that game. Baby Dragon sounds fun. It is, unless you get overrun by cats in a forest.
Keep reading.
Ah, yes, Kangfango. I was killed by sodding cats. Cats. You weren't killed. I think you were just unconscious.
They tried to auction me off.
Yes, they did, and they got a cart full of gold for it, and then took you with them. Yeah. Rest in peace, Mr. W's Dragon. Nature Dragon, I think he was, yeah.
I was, yeah.
He was. Imagine
I've
that.
still got the character sheets.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all of my old character sheets as well. Imagine that. Players leave the town with the blacksmith having a Scottish accent, and they come back. Him having an American one. Players, huh? You sound different. Exactly. Jim, I went to America while you were gone. I picked up a new way of talking, you see. A thick Texan accent. Or accent. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it's fine. Players, in 3 hours? Yep. Okay. Do you want to say something?
Nah, it's fine.
Okay, so... Ooh, not gonna save now because might crash. Yeah, so... yeah, making notes, that's one thing, important thing. Another thing is... oh, what was it? Right, a tip, I've got it. Yes, a tip for any GM, really, is keep track of time. And by that I mean days, weeks, months. Because a thing that I have seen happen in quite a few games, both that I've played in and that I've watched, is in classic games like D&D, Pathfinder, where there are levels, the player characters go into a dungeon and they fight monsters, they get treasure, and they go up the levels to level 1, level 2, level 3, they are level 5. They occasionally go back to town to restock on items, to heal up and things like that. And before you know it, they're level 10. And then one of the players asks, "Oh, how long has it been since we started this game?" In real time, it was probably a few years ago. Maybe a year or so ago. If you play once a week and you play for a couple of hours, that could have easily been a year. However, in game time, if you think about it, and you think, well, how many days have actually passed in game? And then you come to the realization that it's only actually been about a week in game.
Yeah.
Your characters went from level 1 to level 10 in a week in game. So that can be a bit anticlimactic.
Charming.
Yeah, it's like all of these adventures, the past year of gameplay, that's all happened in a week? Really? And yeah. So I think that if you just print, if you're playing at a table, print out a calendar. Either you can use a real world one, or you can make up your own calendar. I would suggest making up your own calendar because that can add a lot to your world building, because the reasons why our days are named the way they are, and why we have 7 days in a week, and why we have however many days in a year, which is the rotations of the Earth per rotation around the sun, all of that stuff is basically, there's a lot of world building that goes into a character. But if you just want to use the normal calendar we have, that's absolutely fine. But I would suggest print it out of maybe 1 year, yeah? Or just buy a calendar. Or do it virtually if you're running a virtual game, which in the current situation is more likely than you running at an actual table. So,
well, you could do a virtual one if you were at an actual table too. You could have your laptop up or your phone or something.
Yes, that is true. Yeah. So anyway, get a calendar and mark off the days. If you travel from one town to another, and if that distance maybe takes the characters a week to travel, then don't be afraid of that. You can just say, okay, you travel to this town, it'll take you a week. And the players say, okay, well, we'll go. Then you can say, okay, well, okay, either you can say the journey proceeds, and then basically you skip forward, and a week passes as you finally arrive at your destination. You can skip all of it, but on your calendar, mark off the days. And also maybe write down little notes, like maybe found treasure.
Of what happened in the day.
Yeah, maybe found treasure, or ticked off bandits, or something like that. Yeah. Just to keep track of things. And which actually leads us to another thing, which also feeds back into making stuff up on the fly, and that is random encounters, random tables. So, which are a thing that I use a lot, because they are just so very interesting. I mainly use them for travel, so that if... Actually, I need to think about what I want to do next. So, these fields look basically done. Yes, it's quite laggy with all the splines and shadows. But that's okay.
By the way, we've got about 5 minutes left.
All right. So, thank you very much. What do I want to do?
I don't mind if we go time.
I want to do fields. Right. So, okay. So I mainly use them for travel. So, for every couple of hours that the players travel, like every 4 hours or so, well, it depends on the distance. Maybe once a day, I roll randomly for the weather, one thing, and also some other encounters. I sometimes for weather I use pre-made tables. However, for For other encounters, I usually make my own. And actually, let's put in a road there. That would look nice. Right. So, for example, well, weather I usually roll every 4 hours or so. Which, doing that kind of thing can add a lot. Because it keeps you on your toes. Because even though you, the GM, thought that this would be a very relaxing saunter over to the neighboring town, which maybe takes 5 hours to walk, or something like that. You roll the dice, and because you've got a calendar, you know that it's winter. Okay, winter.
Yes.
So you roll weather, and there's a blizzard. You roll a blizzard.
Oh boy.
So now you, as a GM, you didn't plan for this. But what happens? Well, that's up to you. And, like, for example, if you're a bit boring, or if this... I knew that you'd find that funny.
That's putting it bluntly, I suppose.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it can be funny. It depends on what kind of game you're running. If you're running a more story-focused game, it's probably a bit boring. If you're running a more combat-focused game, it's quite interesting, actually. That is, you could say, okay, well, ice elementals attack. Yeah? There's a blizzard. There is a herd, if that's the correct word to use, of ice elementals that travel in the blizzard, and they attack the party on the way. Yeah? Which, you can do that. That's absolutely valid. If it fits in your world, obviously.
I prefer gaggle.
I
think I prefer a gaggle. A gaggle of
a
ice
gaggle
elementals.
of... Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah,
I
sounds
like
good.
that. I think that's a name for a group of swans as well.
Could be. I honestly don't know. Right. So, that's a thing you could do. Or, you could maybe say that the players need to make a geography test or a survival test or whatever your system supports to see if they get lost.
Oh.
It's a blizzard. They might get lost. So, you tell the players to make a roll for every hour they are traveling in this blizzard. The players make a roll, they succeed the first one. Okay, they make some progress. You describe how cold it is and the wind howling. You say, roll again. They roll again. The second time, they fail. What happens? Well, either, if you're using if you've got an actual map on hand, then you could just measure it out and say, okay, well, they're going this way, but they get lost, so they go maybe 10 miles this direction instead. Yeah? So that way you can track their progress. But if you're not using a map, you can just tally up how many times they fail, and then try to imagine how far off course they will end up, so to say. So they roll again, and they fail again. This time they rolled a 1.
Oh.
Okay. So then you can describe, okay, after hours of trudging through the ever-increasing snow, the cold has gotten into your bones. At first you thought you knew which way you were going, but as the terrain gets more and more steeper, you realize that you are in the foothills of a mountain. Now, you may recall that there are no mountains where you are going. You are lost. Well and truly lost. As you explore the landscape as far as you can, you eventually stumble upon a cave in a rocky crevasse. You take shelter there, I'm assuming. The players say, yes, we take shelter there. Then, probably. Yeah? If the players take shelter, then you can say, okay.
Although you never know what our group's going to do.
Exactly. But, okay, the players take shelter there, and then you can say, okay, you spend the night in the cave. The warmth of the campfire you have made keeps you nice and warm as the blizzard continues outside. You fall asleep eventually, and when you wake up the next morning, you look out the cave. The weather has cleared, and you can see far away, you can see the horizon. You see mountains and valleys, an alpine countryside, mostly coniferous forests. You have no idea where you are. Okay? And all of that, which was made up on the fly, was due to a random roll. Because I decided, in that scenario, because I would have decided to roll for the weather randomly. I mean, it could have been a clear day, maybe some drizzle, and the players would have gotten to the little neighboring village without any trouble. But now they're on an adventure. And that is why I love random rolls and random tables, at least for things like that. Yeah, and that was just an example I made up on the fly.
Well
I mean, I actually kind of want to play that scenario out now.
Yeah, you can DM it. You can DM it next time.
I could if I wanted to. Right, so here we go. I've put in this road here. We've gone past the time, past the allowed time. So while I'm getting a thumbnail, would you like to? Do you have some comments? No. Do you have some comments on random tables, random generation, or just making stuff up on the fly? Because that seems to be the topic for this stream.
Yeah. Well done for well done in making that up on the fly again. Yeah, again, I suppose it helps to keep the game fresh. It makes the situation and the session just feel a bit more, makes it feel more alive, I suppose, and less like it's a role play thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have noticed that when people tend to do that, they do tend to do it with in travel scenarios.
Yes, that is true. I think that. Oh, by the way, sorry if I've put you on the spot. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
So, oh no, there's actually the wrong one. Actually, these already have signs. That's fine. I don't need that anymore. Right. So, I think that random tables are a great tool to use for things like that. But for things like loot, for example, unless you're running a dungeon crawl, but if you're, I like to do it myself. I make the items myself, just so that I can keep it balanced. However, I think that if you're doing a dungeon crawl game, where the players are supposed to go through the dungeons, get loot, level up, find magic items to become stronger, then I think having random loot could be great. However, that can also make things not make sense that much in some scenarios.
Nope.
Have no idea what that was.
I heard it. I think that was Discord.
It was Discord, but I don't know why. Anyway, I think this is going to be the thumbnail. I think that's a good thumbnail.
Nice, yeah. Not that close, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, it's not that close, but I think that...
I would say a wider shot. Yeah, there we go.
Are you that far behind?
Hang on.
Are you that far behind on the stream?
Don't think so.
I'm going to type something in chat as a test. Tell me when you see it. On stream, I mean.
Now.
I mean appear on stream. Not in the chat, but on stream.
Oh, right. Now, yeah.
Oh, well then you're not that far behind.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm going to take my earphones off. Yes?
Hello? I can still hear you. Can you still hear me? Right, so let me read chat. XD, yep. GM, S Blacksmith. I'm a fast learner, alright. Going back to the Scottish accent, alright. Yeah. Now you're Scottish again? Blacksmith. I won't have any more of this. Blacksmith is closed until further notice. To you at least. Slams door shut. Paradise. Maybe have fixed events that happen in the year and move the marker where the story is at that moment inside of the year. Yes. Yes, fixed events is a great thing. Like, for example, festivals. You can hear there's a festival going to be from the 3rd to 7th day of autumn. Yeah? And you can make up something. You can say it's a harvest festival in honor of the goddess of the harvest, maybe. Yeah? And then if the players make notes, and I would suggest to give your players either notebook or basically incentivize the players to take notes. So, just so that give them a calendar as well, so they can note things in, so that the player can go. Oh, hello there in the background. Hello, you're live on stream. Right. So I would suggest give each player a calendar as well for them to make notes, so they can go. Oh, in 2 days, there's actually going to be a festival in towns. Maybe you should go see that. That could be interesting. It makes the world feel so much more real. Right. For example, Jaratik the Great becomes king. Yes, exactly. Karm Delivan gets locked up after palace officials catch him nicking royal food from the golden platter. I would probably do more world-influencing things. Gillian MacTwinditch becomes Duchess of Brevenshire. For example, if you're a bit boring... Sure, it's 2021. I mean, if you want to put that in the quotes thing, then go ahead. I don't mind. Should I say herd or flock? That was clearly a whistle. Now I've heard it. There you go. One of those? Gaggle, right. Interesting. Never heard of that. A gag. To gag someone, yes. To giggle someone, yes. A gaggle? To giggle someone. Nice.
Yeah.
Gaggle is a collective noun for something, at least. Right. It's geese. Great. So a gaggle of geese. Yeah. Yeah, I just read the chat.
And a baby goose is a gosling.
A gosling? That sounds nice. It sounds like it would drink a lot.
Same with a baby puffin. It's called a puffling.
Oh, puffling.
I know.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nickname.
Yeah. As the blizzard rages on outside, bits of snow getting flung at you every once in a while. Yeah, they're just getting... it's just the ice elementals. They don't want to go into the cave because it's too warm for them. So instead they just gather up snow and fling it in.
Yeah.
Actually, if that keeps the players awake during the night, they would suffer fatigue penalties the next day. So that could be a viable strategy. At first the players think it's cute, but then they realize. Anyway. Shadows, if you randomize everything in a game, it might not be that good. Exactly. Might? Maybe. Who knows? Shadows, yes. Play that scenario with us in chat next time on Tuesday. Well, we'll see. Maybe when we'll play Tales of Vestia, maybe that scenario can come up sometime. I don't know. Probably not. But maybe. Would be nice. Wigwags, yes. More of those. Test, yes? Test. That Discord was me sending pictures. Haha, I kind of guessed it was. 10 seconds delay for me. XD, nice. 40 seconds delay. We'll take a look later. Yikes. Hey man, I'm happy it ain't buffering. Yeah, that's great. Be back in a bit.
Makes a change
for the inconvenience. It does. Well, in the summer, his internet was great. He was streaming almost every day.
It's the ice elementals.
Yes.
That
could become a catchphrase of a campaign. Whenever something goes wrong, one of the characters goes,
It's the ice elementals.
It's the ice elementals. I'm telling you, it's the ice elementals.
That's kind of what like an old fashioned stuck in their ways village would do. They would blame a specific group or specific like a specific group of people on every single problem.
However, that is not a thing of the past. In modern day, this is being done everywhere. See coronavirus. Yes. Anyway. Yes, I don't want to get into that because that is quite a controversial topic, and we do not have the time to discuss this properly at the moment.
You certainly sobered the place up.
It would. Where was I? Shadows.
He's lost where it is.
Great Scottish accent. Loved it. Oh, was it? I thought it was quite a poor one. But I didn't hear myself from the outside, so there you go. You can put that in quotes as well if you want. See you soon. Well, hear you soon. Hello. Whistle sounds much better now. There we go. Right. I've heard of Gosling before, but I've never consciously noticed its existence. How very flattering.
a very philosophical way to put it.
Yeah, it is. Puffins I have heard of, but kind of same thing. Shadows XD.
Puffling.
Oh, my cute little Puffling. Alright, Puffling, yes. It really does sound like a pet name. Not a name for a pet, but like darling or sweetie. Whenever you say, whenever I say darling, I always want to say it like darling, like that for some reason. I don't know why.
Absolutely.
It just lends itself to that.
It's very elaborate and very sort of
like, oh darling, would you please get the door? That kind of thing.
Oh, come now, darling. That's not how it works.
True. Yes, catchphrases are always good. And there we go, that's another one. Catchphrases are always good.
That's his catchphrase.
I have seasonal moody internet. Maybe your internet wants to hibernate and it's angry because you keep waking it up. Well, almost always. Seasonal, yeah. Bakery. The baker's table broke yesterday. Do any of you want to fix it? Players? It's the ice elementals. Yeah. Thanks. XD. Yes, you're right. Yes, darling. Yes, that's it. Scheiß. Okay. Right. Do not save session. Well, yeah, sure, save session. Why not? Okay. We've gone about a quarter of an hour over time.
Yeah, well.
Right. Oh, by the way, the video you can see in the background, the YouTube video, that's of the Cass Scenic Railroad in West Virginia, which is a state-owned either national monument or national park, one of the two. It uses shale locomotives and maybe a hint of what is to come. So, there we go. Yes, bye Chris or Whistlehead, I think you said you were called. Anyway, bye there. Okay, so, wait, there was something I wanted to mention. Not that the stream will be archived, I don't mean that. I'll get... Oh, right. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Shout out?
Oh, you can... Oh, right. Sorry, you can hear... No, not shout-outs. That's not it. Shout-outs not... I'll come to that later. There was another thing I wanted to mention.
Shout-ins?
Shout-ins. Perfect, yes. No, it was about the roleplay thing, yes. Just to mention it again. Roleplay group will be starting. It's not the stream one, a different one. The streamed roleplay thing of Tales of Vestia, which I will run, is later on after the Milton Valley Railroad is finished. I'm talking about a roleplay group which was a live one, happening live. Happening not live. I mean, happening at a table in real life.
A physical one. Yeah.
Physical one. That's the one. That's what I meant. A physical group which hasn't happened in over a year.
Oh my god.
Yes. However, it will be back soon. It's on Saturdays. Starting at 1 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Greenwich Mean Time. And yes, if you're 13 up, if you think it's interesting, you want to give it a try, you don't have to stick with it, obviously, but if you just want to give it a try, get in touch with me over Discord or, basically over Discord, actually. Yeah.
Also, are we going to use? Because we'll be using Discord. We'll probably be using Discord for the voices.
We will. Yes.
And also the video and also face cams.
Yes. Discord has a. If you've got Discord open, if you're in a voice channel, if you are in a voice channel, you can see at the bottom of the channels section a button called video. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you click on
there's video and then there's.
Yeah.
It's video and screen.
If you click on video, then it will turn on your camera and you're basically in a video call, like a conference. If you click on screen, then you're going to live stream your screen, so instead of your camera.
Probably won't work on Twitch though. Like,
what?
With me showing the camera. I wouldn't want to do it anyway.
Yeah. But we are going to use that for the game. We're going to use that for the game.
Yeah.
Yes. Another thing I wanted to mention is that there is a multiplayer session scheduled. Yes, a multiplayer session. I'll post this on Discord as well. It's scheduled to happen this coming Tuesday. Normal stream time. It's going to be live streamed. Going to use one of Slovak Eagle's routes, one of his newest one, I believe the newest one he's uploaded, which is the Great Pass Railroad. It's a Wild West American route. Very, very interesting. It's free on the download station. Yes, I will post a KUID for the session in Discord, so you can just paste that KUID into Trainz and download stuff for that. Also, first-class tickets for Trainz may still be on sale, so if you want to buy one to be able to download assets faster, now would be the time to buy it, if it's still on sale. Right. Yes. So, I think that was everything. So, besides the shout-out, obviously. I'll just read chat. Yes, that's it. Bye. Chris says, short freeware Shea route by Paradise. Perhaps. I'm not confirming anything, but it is maybe something I'm looking into.
Either.
Yes.
I'm not denying anything either.
Yeah. A live one, not a live one. Yeah, exactly. What about mentioning this too? Yeah, that's what I said. Yes, that link that he's just posted, the KUID number, that is the number to the session. Apparently, it's been uploaded, so yes. There we go, screen share video, yes. Shadows, would the non-Tales of Vestia roleplay stuff happen on another Discord server? Yes, it will happen on a server which is going to be created by the one who runs that group, which isn't me, although I will be GMing. At least, I think I'm going to be the only GM when we first start. Yeah, continuing the starter game. But I'm not running that group.
Only the starter game for a few weeks, rather than alternate.
The thing is, I'm going to run the starter game. If someone else wants to GM, then we will probably alternate again, like we usually do. But we would need to have another GM who would want to run a game for that. Looking at you there, Mr. W and Kango Fango. So, genuinely, I would really enjoy that. Right. It is another Discord server. That Discord server has not been set up yet, but as soon as it has been set up, then get in touch with me and we can sort some things out. And if so, will folk of considerable interest get invites to it? Yes, there'll likely be an interview. I would imagine. We haven't actually discussed this process yet, but I would imagine that there'd be an interview. And then, yeah. And if so, will the invites be free? Or will they be £1 per individual? I think, well, the usual sessions were £1. But that was when we had to rent a room to run the game in. I'm not sure if it's still that, because there are still expenses, obviously. The time, for one thing, and also new content, new rule books, new stuff. I'm I'm not sure about that yet. But the first session...
I don't know how we'd pay.
Yeah, exactly. PayPal, there you go, PayPal. But probably not. I don't know. Probably not. It's probably going to be free, but I do not know that for certain.
Well, the GM doesn't have to pay.
Yeah, the GM doesn't. That's why I got into GMing in the first place. No, sorry, that's not. Nah.
You're not supposed to say that out loud. XK on the XK.
Yeah. There's a link to Shay locomotives that Kangafango has posted there. Very, very interesting. If you like locomotives at all, I would suggest you have a look at them. They are very unique, very interesting, brilliant machines. And sessions, will they be free? Do you mean sessions for the root or sessions for the game? I'm assuming root. If the root is free, then the sessions will be free. I'm not going to make you pay for session packs and that sort of thing. At least that's what I say now. Wink, wink. But no, seriously. You're looking at me? I didn't realize I had streamed video. No, cancel, abort. XD, abort mission. Yeah. Shadows, will there be an interview channel in the Discord? I don't know how we'll do that. We'll have to come up with something. For my game, for the Tales of Steer thing, which I'll do after the Milton Valley Railroad is finished, what we'll probably do is we'll arrange some... If you're interested in it, we'll probably arrange just a short interview sometime, probably with voice chat. We can just talk about the game a bit and get to know each other a little bit before I make a decision on whether you get into the game or not. But just a very relaxed thing. I don't know what it will be like for the Saturday group. Maybe you can just turn up however you want, because that's how it went beforehand. I don't know. I'm not running that group, so I can't tell really. Hash interviews and introductions. And moderators/admins will be able to react with checkmark or X on the entrance letter. No, that would not be fair. XD, Shadow's non-Tales of Vestia roleplay sessions. I don't know. So now that we're caught up with chat, I've mentioned the roleplay group on Saturdays. If you want to get in touch, go ahead. Now we're no longer caught up with chat, so I'll read chat again. And if the majority of admins, moderators react with checkmark, they get in. If the majority react with X, they don't. Yeah, that doesn't seem very fair.
Tango, hush.
Right, so the stream's been live for 2 hours and 22 minutes and 40 seconds. That's good. And by good, I mean we've gone a lot over time.
Yeah. So, same time as last time.
Yeah. So I've mentioned that. I've mentioned the multiplayer session. Again, announcement will be on the Discord server as well. This will be archived. Shoutouts, Kangafango does amazing stuff on stream. He streams OMSI 2 map building, Trainz map building. He also streams... Yes, tomorrow. He also streams... Actually, tomorrow he streams a driving game. I think he's going to stream...
Euro Truck Sim? Or
yes, he's probably...
What's the other one?
He streams American Truck Simulator, Extreme Trucker 2, and I think this Sunday he's probably going to stream Euro Truck Simulator 2 with a winter mod on, which is going to be quite interesting. Yes, have a look at that stuff. Also, Slovak Eagle and Brand, the Branded K, also stream when they can. Brand streams little less often. Yeah, very, very interesting. Slovak Eagle does a lot of Trainz stuff as well, driving games as well, like Train Simulator. And
it's part of the development team.
Yes. Central Europe is a huge map that is being developed in Trainz simulating Central Europe at a, admittedly, of course, smaller scale. However, still huge. Have a look at that if you want to. Well, right, so that's shoutouts done, I think. You know, Mr. W, if you ever released a book of yours, then you would get a free shout-out at the end of the streams. You would. Guess you've got to get to the publishers. Right.
Yes, I've changed them recently as well.
Oh, you have? Have you actually?
We can talk about that later. It might
Yeah.
take.
Probably.
No,
better idea.
I haven't released one yet. But but I heard that the publishers I was planning to publish with, they aren't the best and have been accused of fraudulence and incompetence. So.
Well, at least that's not the worst
At least
combination.
I found that out now.
Yeah, that's not the worst combination,
Yeah.
because fraudulence
Yeah.
is bad, but if teamed with incompetence, then they'll likely be discovered. So, fraudulence with
Well, they have.
competence, fraudulence coupled with competence, now that's a dangerous combination. Right, so... XD, huh, what? Shh, oh, shh, hush? Alright, bye, hush. While hushed, whispering, thank you for the shout-out, smiles. Much appreciated. Still hushed. Yes, Mr. W.
Oh,
You were right with Euro Truck.
no.
Do you not like whispering? Do you not like whispering?
It's just odd.
That's okay.
Especially when
Also
it's right in
hushed.
the ear.
Sueda's also part of the CE team. Yes, there's a long list of semi-long list of people who are part of that. Thanks for the shout-out. Example of fraud and incompetence will follow. Okay, so with that, I believe, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but I believe, meaning to say that I'm of the opinion that I believe
I am out of here.
that the stream is done. So, no, it's not. There we go, more chat.
Oh God! Shut up.
Do we need to keep the contract? Nah, just stick it in the bin and we'll be fine. That's
2
the
years later
example.
in court.
That's the example
You
of...
throw those away.
Yeah, exactly. Fraudulence and incompetence. Right. That could be a good name for a TV sitcom. Fraudulence and
Yes.
incompetence.
Yes.
Anyway,
I've read them, so you don't need to read any now.
yeah. Thank you very much for that. And also, thank you very much, dear viewers, for watching. For sticking with this
All
stream
right then.
for 2.5... For 2.5...
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're in a stream for 2.5 hours listening to two guys talking about role-playing stuff? Like, seriously? Is it that interesting? Yes, there was some root building in background, but I'm just placing fields. That's all I'm doing at the moment. Anyway. Yeah. Chit-chat.
No.
Okay.
Shut up. Oh God! No, not again, gang.
Would you like to read that one, Mr. W? The last one.
And hushed once again. Hi everyone. The stream was very enjoyable and provided an excellent evening experience. Thank you both. I sound like I'm reading a child's story. I'm reading a child's bedtime
But it's endearing.
story.
It is endearing.
Yeah.
No, they've said more. Go on.
Okay. Slow back. Should I do it in a voice that just insults him? Try to mimic his voice on the voice chat. No, that could get me in a lot of trouble. No. Okay. Slovak says bye and don't forget to subscribe.
He said bye-bye.
Follow and subscribe. Yeah. Bye.
Okay, and with
bye
that...
times 2. Don't forget to follow and
Yeah.
subscribe.
Thank you very much for saying that. So, with that, finally, the stream is over. 2.5 hours have elapsed. We've got a couple of fields done, and that's it. So thank you very much for joining me in voice chat, Mr. W, and thank you very much for joining me, people in chat, people watching without accounts, people watching archived, because this stream will be archived on YouTube, and that's it, finally. Whew, so, bye.
Bye.